It's 1902 on the Isle of Malta. You're on a construction team in an ancient town when your dig hits something that shouldn't be there.
It's a hard surface. They dig a little more and then break through what seems to be the ceiling of some sort of stone chamber.
Afraid it could derail their construction project, the workers scramble to cover up any signs of the discovery. But secrets on the small island don't stay buried for long, and rumors about the find swirl until they reach local archaeologists.
By November of 1903, a full archaeological investigation is underway, and they quickly realize this minor construction mistake has uncovered something important. A 3-level ancient complex with a secret.
As they explore, they find a temple, a cemetery, funeral halls, all carved directly into the limestone. The whole thing was constructed over a period of a few thousand years, starting in 4000 BC. That means it's 1,200 years older than the first pyramid in Egypt.
Who could have built this so long ago? And how?
This is pre-Bronze Age architecture. This was before the people of Malta had access to any kind of metal tools, which means this whole complex was created from raw limestone using just other stone, antlers, sticks, and just sheer human power.
They called it the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum. Hal Saflieni after a nearby Neolithic village, and Hypogeum, which is the Greek word for an underground temple.
But a discovery inside the chambers leads some to question the temple's true purpose.
Researchers discover over 7,000 human remains scattered throughout the complex. And this leads them to believe that this was a special burial place.
But as they explore further, they find sophisticated engineering features that suggest this is much more than an underground burial vault. The chambers are laid out so that on the winter solstice, sunlight reaches the center of the structure, illuminating the main temple.
But it's the acoustic properties that are really significant. The temple was constructed in such a way that sound resonates throughout the entire complex.
Given its unique light and sound effects, it's been speculated by researchers that this site could have been used for religious rituals. And with 7,000 human remains on the site, those rituals might have even included human sacrifice.
It's April 1944. World War II is raging across Europe, and some of the countries that are allied with Adolf Hitler and the Nazis are just getting hammered by the Allies.
One of those Axis powers is Bulgaria, which is under attack from 2 different directions. It's being bombed by the Americans and the British from the west and the Soviets from the east.
The Bulgarian army is desperate. So they start building a series of underground bomb shelters and trenches surrounding the central city of Kazanlak.
As they dig, a few of the soldiers hit something hard.
The men chisel a hole in the wall. And when they bust through, on the other side, they find an underground chamber. They go through and they find themselves in a tunnel.
One of the men flicks on his flashlight. He's surrounded by richly colored frescoes depicting men in battle. The soldiers call the director of a local history museum, who realizes this is an important discovery.
Learning more will have to wait. As the Soviets bear down, Bulgaria switches sides and declares war on Germany. This stops the Allied bombing and very possibly saves the mysterious tunnels. But after the war, experts return to open the site.
The passageways with the frescoes lead to a round domed chamber with even more murals. It turns out this accidental find is an ancient tomb.
But not just any tomb. They find fragments of a crown. this is a royal tomb.
Further exploration and research of this one tomb actually suggests that it's a small part of a much larger underground royal cemetery.
Experts soon realized this incredible find includes tombs belonging to the rulers of Thrace, a famous kingdom known for its fierce warriors.
Eventually, Thrace is conquered by Rome. But some of Rome's most famous warriors, like Spartacus, were Thracian, as were a few Roman emperors. So the discovery of a vast Thracian tomb is really exciting. But the real treasures of the tombs are the frescoes, which adorn the walls and ceilings.
They include a couple seated at a banquet table preparing to enter the underworld. You've got another one depicting a chariot race, which is part of the funeral games when a member of the elite died.
We don't have much from the Thracians themselves. We know a bit about their language, but we don't have any extended texts in it. So when you find direct evidence of what the rich and powerful in Thrace were doing and what they valued, that's incredibly rare and incredibly valuable.
Let's say you're a guy who hunts to put food on your family's dinner table. When one young man heads into Colombia's jungle, he uncovers something completely unexpected.
Julio Cesar Sepulveda is hunting for game along the Guachaca River on the northern coast of Colombia. In the distance, he spots a crown of feathers. It's a wild turkey.
He takes aim. Bam! Although his shot hits the turkey, it doesn't kill it.
The bird gets back up and starts to hobble and jump. Sepulveda chases after it. But somehow the bird keeps jumping up higher and higher. And then suddenly, Julio tilts his head up and sees a sort of stone staircase in the middle of the jungle.
He follows the staircase up, wondering where it might lead. 50 steps, 100 steps, 200 steps, 300 steps.
When he finally reaches the top, he's crossed 1,200 stairs.
At this point, he's high above the jungle. He looks around below him, and he simply can't believe his eyes.
There in the middle of the jungle, he believes he just rediscovered a place he only knows from legends. And if he's right, this is the fabled Ciudad Perdida, the lost city.
Local legend claims the city was built by people called the Tirona, who lived around 800 AD. And supposedly, they buried a huge collection of gold here. So of course, Julio can't wait to share the find with his family.
Sepulveda leads his family back through the jungle to the site of the steps. A sweltering heat simmers as they ascend the stairs. They struggle to breathe. So they dub this place Infierno Verde, the green hell.
They find the remains of an ancient cemetery. What's inside the tombs is beyond their wildest dreams.
There's gold jewelry, urns, statues littering the floor. There's even solid gold sheets attached to the walls.
The Sepulvedas take these objects and stuff their pockets so they can be sold on the black market.
But the family's discovery doesn't stay secret for long. Ciudad Perdida is quickly overrun by competing treasure hunters.
Rivalries form over who controls the turf, and inevitably, disputes between looters lead to gun battles, stabbings, and bloodshed. Tragically, in one of those fights, Julio Sepulveda is killed.
It takes a year, but Colombian authorities finally gain control of the site. And it's not the first time it's seen such violence.
Turns out, people have been murdering each other over this gold for centuries. Now, following this discovery, the indigenous people of the region petitioned the government to reclaim this land for themselves.
After cataloging the massive treasure trove, The items are put on display in museums all around the world, and the indigenous communities are once again caretakers of the Green Hell.